Hey there, it's the end of the year. It's cozy season. So let's do a little end of the year review. See how we did with our hobby. All right, let's do it. So, the first mini of the year was this guy, the leader for the skeleton, one of the skeleton underworld. What are they called? Groups, war bands, whatever you want to call them. Whatever. Finished him up. I had painted all the other ones the year prior, 2024. And I'm really happy with how some of like the texture. Big thing I've been kind of working on is being better at like painting textures on things. You can kind of see that on his cape a little bit. The brush strokes, especially on the back, I feel like it reads really, really well and is a little more dynamic. I think I can definitely go further and push it more, especially in colors and brightness. That's something I'm kind of trying to work on now. But this was my first mini of the year. Boop. Right back there. My second mini of the year actually had this idea for a conversion. I hate the standard necromancer model, and I had this guy converted him to be my necromancer for my Soulblight Gravelords, and I painted him for an Instagram painting competition. Did not win, but I did get an honorable mention. The only conversion is the skull on the top here, the base, and some of these other little fun burning skull accents. I think the base model is from the Mortis engine, because I'm building the Coven Throne out of mine, and I'll talk more about that Coven Throne. But this is my second mini of the year. Really happy with how he turned out. I think not the main reason why I didn't win, but I think something I'm bad at is taking good pictures of my minis. And so that definitely doesn't help. So that was mini number 2. Mini number 3, I just kind of wanted to paint something for fun, something quick, something easy. So this was one of the free minis of the month that I had picked up. And the main thing I wanted her to feel like she was in a cold, snowy place, and that the bear skin looked cold. So kind of did like some underpainting with this one. Had a little fun with a snowy-esque base. That's something I would like to kind of explore more, is like winter basing. I feel like that'd be kind of fun. And yeah, this is just kind of a nice, simple model, clean, fun paint. Face is kind of don't look too closely at the face. It's a little scuffed, but that's all right. So that was mini number 3. All right, after that, let's see. Ooh, picked up this cool Reaper Metal mini. At a game store in Roanoke, Virginia, when I still lived there. They had some Reaper that were like tucked away, and got it for pretty cheap. Really kind of happy just with like the colors and the blade. The ribbon on her staff is really punchy and really vibrant, so I was really happy with how that turned out. I don't know if I wrote that recipe somewhere in the back of her cloak. Very cool, very fun mini to paint. May or may not end up being a villain in my D&D campaign. We'll see what happens. So that's 4. And then we started working on Underworld Goblins. I don't really remember the exact order I painted these. But my goal with these was to kind of have like a very bright and colorful paint scheme. And I kind of have that, but there's a lot of things with them that I'm not like the most happy with. Really, it just kind of boils down to that I feel like I've got too much going on, too many colors. The red, the yellow, and the blue, while they all work together, was tedious and is a pain to paint sometimes. So it's been kind of a slog to try to really put those guys in the back so we can see them a little better. The slog to kind of like get them done. Just like, I want them done because they're cool models and I want to have another Underworld Warband. It was really these blue robes, I think, is what killed me. It's just like, I feel like I couldn't figure it out, couldn't crack it quite well. Nothing was looking quite right for me. Really happy with this guy, though. This guy, I think he turned out really well. Again, still trying to work on building up texture on the hat and like trying to make sure the cloth looks like cloth and stuff like that. But also been trying to like reach a point where I'm just painting with my own kind of style and my own paint scheme and figuring that out. Not just paint scheme, but like, you know what I mean. And so really just trying to like, what is my best? What does that mean to paint at my best? And also not putting pressure that like every single mini has to be immaculate. I don't want them to look bad, but also just want to be able to enjoy and not be stressing on the paint quality. Really happy with how the squig turned out, especially with his little tan belly. I think he's really fun and really cute. Yeah. And then I haven't finished the entire warband. I'm working. Let's see if I can reach back here. Not mess up anything. Yeah. Working on the leader right now. He's got his armor done and pretty much base coats on everything else. And I'm happy with how he's coming along. So that should be, maybe I'll finish that this year. Maybe I won't. We will see. All right. So in between kind of like goblins and stuff, I found these cool Raub Partha Dwarf Cavalry metal minis. Picked these up at a Half Price Books in Texas. So check out your Half Price Books. Sometimes they've got models. It's crazy. These guys I definitely want to, while I was painting them, I came up with kind of like these D&D NPCs of two twin dwarfs fighters that ride goats. And have this whole idea of both of them are what was that? The two twin brothers riding two twin goats, and they were all born at the same time, and that was like an auspicious sign. And so they were sent off to train together, and kind of play with that of like the D&D players. It's like, all right, roll to see if you can tell who is who between these identical dwarfs. But those are really fun models to paint. I really enjoy painting metal minis. The weight of them, the details, and I'm really happy with how those guys turned out. They just look fun, have a lot of character. After those, painted more of the underworld goblins, and then I wanted another palette cleanser. So I had gotten my first ever dragon mini. This is Reaper Bones. Let me see if I can. Just wanted to have fun. Again, another fun paint scheme. Did some underpainting with like a purple on him. And I felt inspired by a sticker on the front of my painting notebook. Also, look at these wings. So happy with how these turned out. Again, just really trying to play with color, being more vibrant, being more punchy. Kind of looks like my Tarrasque a little bit with this orange. Maybe I'll show you that. It's a tiny little Tarrasque mini. But really happy with how this guy turned out. It was a fun paint scheme. I'm going to show you the sticker that inspired it all. It's kind of like right there. So that was the dragon that I was kind of going off of. So, and I think it pulled out. It did good. All right, we'll get you back here now. All right, and then last but not least, I featured them already, but I'll show them again, is my Middle-earth goblins. Man, that looks really nice. It's crazy how much you can see on the camera zoomed in like that. Also, I don't think I showed this one. This is the one my niece painted. Oh, Iron Man vibe with the red and the gold. Sick. But yeah, so that is all of my minis for 2025. And cut. Segue now to the incoming year. One of my goals, I'm kind of referring to 2026 for me as Year of the Big Boys. I even have that in my painting journal as well. Because as you can see on my hobby desk, I pulled out some of my pile of gray, and I got a lot of big projects that I've kind of started, haven't finished, and I really want to dedicate time to finishing these. So one is my Coven Throne. I have it sort of like in sub-assemblies. I have like the vampires that sit on top, already primed to be painted separately. And I have this big cool vision of like, I want the Coven Throne, like, because when it's built, it's sort of, I think this is the bottom piece. It's kind of like this sort of like upward momentum. So like, I'm thinking of putting like a wall or some sort of ruin or something to like be jumping over. And hopefully use that also to give it some more stability. This scares me. There's a lot of little small dingly dangly bits on this. And so I'm really excited to paint that up. I've got this cool 3D print I got for Christmas. I didn't pull all of it out, but it's from Dragon Keeper's Lodge or Dragon Trapper's Lodge. And it's a dragon turtle, and then it has like a house that goes on its back here. So I got to, paint that up, and it's got a 3D printed base for it. As you can see, there's a lot of gaps and some splits because I'm guessing it didn't cure properly, but I'm trying to lean into it and like use that as like battle damage or scarring and stuff on the turtle. But really cool model, really fun. I've got this bust that I picked up at LVO years ago. That is just, I primed it last year, or maybe I primed it this year, but I primed it in hopes of finally painting it this year, and I did not. And so he's up here as well, of just really wanting to take something and really use this to push my, obviously, like skin, and then also this, I believe the bust is called the Scotsman. So I really want to, like, it'd be cool to paint a tartan on there, kind of play with the old age look. Looks kind of like, I think Heihachi. I think that's the character's name in Tekken. Not too familiar with that game, but got a bust. I also have like this Beholder mini that I want to paint up. Then I just got this Frost Giant as well. So those are the big boys that hopefully I'll paint all of them. If not, hopefully I paint at least 3. I think 3 is a reasonable goal and very doable. And I think I've got enough smaller minis where I can sort of intermingle or intersperse other smaller projects to help kind of help me not to get too tired of painting just big model after big model after big model after big model. Yeah, and so that's kind of more or less my year in review. I have other hobby goals. Like I would love to build a full spearhead and learn how to play that. I like just play miniature war games more. I'm more of a painter right now than a player. And that sort of requires me getting out of my comfort zone a bit. And also, just trying to be mindful, like getting into the hobby. Everyone talks about like, oh my God, it's so expensive. And it is, and it can be. And so I really try to be reasonable and responsible with like how many minis I buy and how many, not going crazy with stuff. And I also want to be more environmentally mindful with my hobby as well. And so really kind of exploring how can I recycle, how can I reuse stuff as much as possible. And it's good. It's always good to set goals and to sort of have your eye on the prize. Like would I love next year to still, keep painting more minis and kind of get the number total higher? Of course. And I think that'll always kind of be in the back of my brain. But I also really want to clear out some of this backlog, paint some of these really cool models that I want to use. Like I want to be able to use this guy in an encounter for D&D because we are kind of notification number 2.
Sorry, I
know it's okay.
You're just gonna keep going.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And because the theme of this channel is what will be, and what doesn't happen. I think culturally, especially here in America, when we're all kind of under this mindset of capitalism and hustle culture, you got to be perfectionist, but I think there's perfection and imperfection, and there's beauty in everything. And I think we need to find more of that, find more of the humanity. And humanity means making errors and things not being pristine. Yeah. Let me know if you have any hobby goals yourself. Put those down in the comments. Maybe, you'll inspire me. You'll inspire each other. And it's, it's good to have accountability as well. That's kind of what this channel is doing for me. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, happy holidays if you celebrate. And I will see you all in the new year.